Hello all, this is a video going over the labor applicator. We are here on Storefront. We're comparing SF1 to SF2. I put in the same values. Quantity of 15, daylight's less than, XYZ, they're all identical. We're going to be looking at the Excel function known as ceiling. So, to establish how many man hours it takes to set the subsol, we are saying it's 2 men, 1 hour, with a quantity of 25. We're multiplying those 3, and then we're rounding up to a significance of C11, which is 2. Over here, we have the same idea. So it's 4 man, half an hour, it's 2 hours. 2 man, 1 hour is 2 hours, right? But all of these are figured at 4 men because you have a 4-man crew. So this is a little more realistic when you go and do it. This is a little more literal. It is a good function to establish how many men it takes to complete a task, and then bringing it over here to a 4-man crew, or just establishing how many are in the crew, right? So let's take a look at this function over here. It's the same, of course. We have here n times m times L, which is 50, but it's rounding up to the significance of 4. So that's why you're adding the 2 there, right? So let's see what this is percentage-wise. We have 490 compared to 481. Let's do a quick little... So we have a 1.87% difference. Not very much. Right? What I suggest is the following. So we have here 2 men, 1 hour. You take the literal values, and you can adjust this formula to whatever you want. You can put in 16. That brings it up to 64 from 50. That's a pretty sizable value. You can be extremely literal. You can look at it by the day and say you have a 4-man crew working 8 hours. It's 32 hours. 64 happens to be the same. What I do suggest is the following. I could add this in, but it might kind of screw up this here. But what you can do is establish your own significance right here, and then reference that when you're figuring your man hours, right? So we have here E times D times C, and then the significance of, this is F8. And then what you want to do is hit the F4 button to put these $signs around it. What that does is kind of puts a stake in this when you are dragging your function, right? So I'll do that right now. We're going to do, click it, right click, copy, select the cells that you want to copy it to, and then hit this one. Right click, and then formulas, FX right there. So what that does is it takes 2 times 1 times 25, but rounds it up to the significance of that. And what the $signs did was, when you go to the next one, it drags from 11 to 12, but the F8 is staked. It's you know, so this is being applied to all of them. Right? So you can play around with it. So if you go up to 32, I mean, this is a little off here, but you know, that's pretty ridiculous. We can go 2, bring it back down to about 2%, 4. So the idea is just to kind of take the literal and you know, apply it to men actually there, right? There's also transit. You can get rid of transit. You can play around with that. You maybe make it 5. I usually keep it at 10%. 5% is just adding, you know, 25 total man hours of kind of just doing nothing, either in transit or standing around, drinking a coffee. some of my customers like to get rid of the measure and stage because that's generally done by the PM who's not paid by the hour. You can certainly do that. That's one of the first things you want to get rid of when the GC is trying to get your number down. And then also, you know, of course, getting rid of the transit. Maybe even adjusting the percentage. Yeah. So those are just kind of ways to really establish what your company is able, capable of doing, what OSHA requires, and then making it more realistic, basically, by the ceiling function right there. That's about it. Thank you.